I'm not gonna lie, bro. Growing up is one of the most depressing things ever. And it kind of doesn't even have anything to do with your actual age. And it has everything to do with like the fact that, responsibilities and stuff come with growing up. But more than just regular responsibilities, because what you gotta understand is that right now we are living through basically the Great Depression part two, bro. You feel? So it's like not only are we growing up and we have to have all these responsibilities and bills that nobody has to pay and stuff like that, not only is the system completely flawed, but it's the worst it's ever been. So not like it's not even like we can, okay, I'm gonna just deal with these responsibilities and be a grown up, be an adult, and just move on and keep on going with my life. No, it's like, bro, yeah, you got to pay bills and stuff like that, but also like, you can't get a job, bro. But yeah, like also like inflation is crazy. Burritos at Chipotle are $25 now. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay $2,500 for a one-bedroom apartment. You're gonna have to live with your parents till you're 47. But it's like when you're a child, you wait for this moment, bro. It's like, dang, I can't wait to be grown. I can't wait to be 18, 21, 25, 30. You like pray for those moments. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till I'm an adult and I have all these freedoms. It's like you watch these movies and these TV shows, right? And you see all these adults living these lives that are like so fun, and they just have these huge social circles, and they're going out and they're chilling at these elaborate bars, and then they find the one, they fall in love, and then you find out that when you get older, ain't none of that shit real, bro. Ain't none of that shit real. And the crazy part about it is that people will say, oh well, maybe it was never real. But that's BS, because it was real at a point. It was real when society had communities back then, but now there's no more communities. Everything's, all communication and friendships are on social media and stuff now. You know what I mean? It's like, think about it this way. Like, when you grow up and you watch these TV shows, you're seeing these adults have these like large groups of friends, or they have a group of friends or whatever. Bro, in reality, most people are so lonely. Most people are just like, they don't have friends to go out with. There's nothing to do. You stay inside all day, every day. There's just nowhere to go. There's nobody to talk to about any of this stuff. And it kind of gets depressing, because when you're alone for so long, it's like, damn, bro, like, does anyone care? You just start having negative thoughts, which is why I like this is why like living by yourself is a horrible idea, bro. Like, genuinely, moving out and living by yourself is just not a good idea. At least, let me not say it's a horrible idea, but it's not all it's caked up to be, because I feel like you gain a lot of negative thoughts, and there's just a lot of down moments, alone moments, especially if you don't have a large social circle, which most people in this generation do not, bro. And it absolutely fucking sucks, because it's like, damn, I wish I had friends. And people will try to say like, oh, I'm an introvert, it's okay. But even introverts want to be social, at least to some degree, to some level. So if you don't have a hobby or none of that shit, bro, you're absolutely fried. Don't let you have a job that's at least the slightest bit demanding. Because if you do happen to land a job, yeah, bro, hobbies, all that shit is cooked. Going out with your homies is cooked. You're just like this shell. You're just a robot, basically, that lives in order to work. And that is the worst bottom of the barrel, bottom tier existence. And that's that's where we're at right now. And it's so fucking funny how this is the first generation to realize it. This is the first generation to realize, like, oh, yippee, we gotta work 40 hours a goddamn week. Woo, whoop-de fucking do, and just be slaves. My nigga, like, we don't want to do that shit. Why did the boomers never speak up and say nothing about this? Probably because they lived in more prosperous times. But it's like, damn, like, I seen some shit. Like, boomers will always be like, oh, like, I remember, bro, I'll never forget this shit. I'll never forget this shit. I remember my dad one time told me, and shout out to my pops, man. Shout out to my dad. Love my dad, man. But at the end of the day, sometimes our parents just say some wild things. I remember he told me one day, and this was like a couple years ago, he said, you know what? You really need to be working 7 days a week. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you need to be working 7 days a week. Because, I mean, you need to be this and this and that. Oh, your generation is lazy. The whole boomer spiel. And I was genuinely dumbfounded. I was dumbfounded by the fact that part of me, like, it's our parents. I believed them. Part of me believed them. I was like, damn, do I need to be working 7 days a week? But no, nobody needs to be doing that shit, bro. We're all just slaves to corporate America. You're never gonna get rich working a job. What is the point in doing all that extra ass shit? When in reality, it's not gonna get you ahead. It's not gonna get you anywhere. And that's the shitty part about being an adult. You don't have any fucking friends. You live by yourself. You have zero social circle, and you live to work. And they want you to work more and more and more. Oh, take these overtime hours. Take these overtime hours. You put money into a Roth IRA. That's not going to mean shit in years. And it's like, oh my gosh, man. And then you have the older generation talking about work more, you're lazy, work more, when we're literally living in times that are worse than the Great fucking Depression. You know what I'm saying? Back then, my nigga, even if you account for wages and inflation, it was way more doable back then. Like, motherfuckers could work at Home Depot, Lowe's, and be able to afford an actual house. This is actually a thing that you could have done. You could have worked at Sears, my nigga, and been able to afford a house. Nowadays, no, that shit's not happening, bro. You can't even afford an apartment. You can't even afford a goddamn Chipotle bowl. You can't even afford no Panda Express. You can't even get a McDonald's McChicken no more. $5 footlongs is gone. We've lost our way. But my point is, man, being an adult absolutely sucks. And it's so crazy how as kids, it's like hyped up to be this magical fucking thing. Like, oh my gosh, when you're an adult, you're going to be able to do so much. Oh my gosh, you're going to find the one. You're going to fall in love. That shit is good for most people. You know what I'm saying? Now, luckily for me, I'm in a long-term relationship. You know what I mean? But for most people, I understand in this generation, it's absolutely fried, bro. I mean, it's so hard to find somebody these days, bro. Like, you kind of have to just you kind of have to luck into it. Like, fuck all the dating advice videos and the whoop-de-whoop and shit like that, bro. Nowadays, there's literally, women nowadays don't want to get married and have kids more than ever. And men do want to get married and have kids, and that has to do with the dichotomy. I'm trying to use big words and shit. That has to do with the separation between men and women's like ideologies and beliefs, because with this generation, we have not been aligned more than ever, right? Like, women are extremely liberal on the left side, and men are extremely conservative on the right side more than ever. Like, we're very polarized and split. In previous generations, maybe there was a bit of a split, but not that much. They pretty much were aligned. And because of this misalignment, whatever, it just leads to a lack of like, you know, like, there's no foundational core beliefs. Everyone's just like fighting each other. That's why you go on Twitter and you always see, oh, why do men be doing this? Oh, why do women be doing this? It's always some bullshit, some kind of fucking pointless gender war going on social media, Twitter, shit like that, man. And it's just so crazy because it's like you grow up thinking, oh my gosh, when I'm adult, I'm gonna find the one. I'm gonna get a woman or a wife or a husband, and I'm gonna live the American dream with a white picket fence with 2 kids and a dog. And it's like you grow up and you realize, holy shit, that shit is fucking fried. And it's not because like that's what was promised to us, bro. Like, you grow up and you can live the American dream. That's what you learn in school and shit, right? And then now here we are, all people born from like 2000 to 2005. Here we are, here we go. It's our turn. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. You know how you're supposed to have a group of friends? Yeah, that shit, you know, lockdowns. Yeah, that shit's cooked. Yeah, you know how you're supposed to find like a spouse, husband, wife? Yeah. You know what? We pushing agendas to like split men and women apart. So, you know, that marriage is fucking cooked. Yeah, we're gonna push this degenerate behavior and shit. So that's dating is just fried, it's cooked. Yeah, you know how you wanted to get like that perfect career, that job? Nah. Nah. You know how you want to afford a house? Bro, that's a fucking myth. You know that, right? You know, affording a house is a myth, right? Y'all really thought y'all was about to be buying houses with a white picket fence for a reasonable price, with a reasonable mortgage. Thought you was gonna have equity, own that house one day. Yeah, bruh. 90-year mortgages, they about to drop that shit. My point is, it's like all this hype, and for fucking what? For fucking what, dude? And on a surface level, it's kind of a depressing thing to think about, because like there's really no real like solution systematically. It's like these are just the hands that we were dealt, like these are the cards that we were dealt, and it's like with these cards we're absolutely fucking cooked. But what there is definitely a silver lining to all this shit, man. And the positivity in it is that as fucked up as shit is now, you know, and I don't need to keep rehashing, you know what's wrong with today's terms, with today's world. It's different. As fucked up as it is, you know, this is the perfect time to go and chase your dreams. This is the perfect time to start a business. You know why? Because it's just as difficult as getting a job. It's gonna be, you gonna be just as broke. So you might as fucking well. And when you start thinking of it that way in a more positive light, you start to realize like, okay, life is gonna be what I make it, because the system ain't gonna help you. The system helped the past generations, but that shit's broken. So life is, you're gonna have to come up with your own system, basically. You know what I mean? Why do you think I started this YouTube shit? I seen the writing on the wall. I seen the writing on the wall years ago, bro. I done told you all the stories. I seen the writing on the wall, man. And I'm blessed to be in a position to like, okay, like I make money on YouTube. I make money on the internet. I'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you have to be a content creator, but do something, bro. Start that business, start something. Because I'm telling you right now, with the rise of AI, dog, like they're trying to downplay this shit, but I'm telling you right now, every company is using that, and every company is getting rid of these positions slowly and silently. They're laying people off more and more every year. I don't care what they say. Oh, AI is not ready. AI is not ready. You mean to tell me in 5, 10 years they not gonna keep upgrading the shit? Shit gonna be better than humans, bro. Like you gotta start your own thing, dog. Because when you start your own thing, you start to live by your own system. Think about it. They want you to be unhealthy. They want you to be lonely. They want you to be a gooner, right? Because think about just the way shit is set up, right? You work 8 hours a day, 40-hour work week. Long story short, I'm not even gonna go into details, but long story short, you don't have time to invest in yourself, right? And then what they do is they say, oh, well, invest into this 401k, Roth IRA. You're gonna have all this money when you retire, which is kind of a myth too. We ain't gonna be able to retire, but that's for another video. When you retire, then you'll have access to all of this money. Reality is, because you spent so much time giving your life force and your soul to these other fucking people, guess what happens now? Now you have to spend all that money on medical bills. Ooh, medical, because you didn't take care of your health. You didn't go to the gym because you didn't have time. You were tired after work, after that long ass 8, 10, 12 hour, 16-hour shift. And what ends up happening is, you know, you don't have good health. You're struggling, you're suffering. You gotta get a job now after you're retired. You're working at fucking Albertsons and Panda Express, you know? So it's like you lose. But when you have your own thing going on, when you're able to escape the matrix, quote unquote, the system, when you're able to have your own business, your own content, your own whatever, start up your own shit, you did a side hustle that brought in some more money. Now you no longer have to rely on this system, right? The beauty about being a content creator, at least to me, is not, oh, I get to be fucking rich and famous, or I get to be known, oh, I'm on the internet. The beauty of it is that you don't really have to go anywhere. I don't have to be at a place. I sit here and I record videos that are like 10 to 15 minutes long. I record a couple of them per day, and I get the fuck on with my life. I don't have to be nowhere for hours and hours, which means I can invest into my physique. Why do you think my physique looks like this? I'm not even trying to flex, but I'm dead serious. You can put more energy into shit that matters, that you care about. You know what I mean? And put more energy into your physique. You have more time to build a social life, which is so good for your mental health. You have more time to read. You have more time to think to yourself. You have more time to just invest in other shit, man. Right? And that's how you make more money, right? Because you start a business, you start content, whatever, right? You have more time to do things. Oh, you know what? Let me check out day trading. Let me check this. You know what? Let me check this out. This might make me some more money too. You get to do more side hustles and shit. You just open up your entire life when you do that. So that's kind of like the positive silver lining to this. But the reality of it is, even that shit is gonna eventually be cooked, not gonna lie, because everyone's gonna start figuring out slowly over time the old ways, the old system no longer works because of how they got that shit set up. and everyone's gonna try and become a content creator and a streamer and they do their own business. But the thing about it is that a business can't thrive without employees. There must be employees. So there's gonna be a big split. There's gonna be the people that start their own shit that are productive, and then you have the people that are just consumers, that are just employees and shit like that. And you're gonna have to stand on one side or the other, bro. And like, once, I mean, we're already kind of at that point, but it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. It's gonna be like, listen, bro, you either the boss or you the worker, bro. There's no real in between. You know what I mean? You're either suffering as a wage slave, or you're one of the 1% eating rich. You're getting fat because you're just eating oysters and swordfish and all this other good shit, delicious food. You're just gonna have to choose a side, bro. And I choose the side of living a good life, bro. I'm gonna get everything I want out of this fucking life. I don't care. Y'all can hate, whatever. He's delusional. He thinks he's gonna make it. I know I'm gonna make it. I don't think I'm gonna make it. I know I'm gonna make it. And the reason I know I'm gonna make it is because, nigga, I ain't gonna stop. I ain't gonna stop, bro. You want to kill me. But no, in all seriousness though, it does suck growing up. Not because of the regular bills and shit like that, because everyone can deal with that. I've dealt with that. I can pay the basic shit, but it's just the current times that we live in, bro. And it's like, damn, we got the shit end of the stick. Feel bad for Gen Alpha. Feel terrible for Gen Beta. Even if that shit even exists. Gen Z ain't having no kids. They ain't having, well, we ain't having no kids. We ain't getting married. Gen Beta is about to be like a total population of 5 people. I mean, shit, obviously I'm over exaggerating, but I mean, it's going to be a very small generation. And that's just kind of, that's going to kind of exacerbate the problem. Especially like the depopulation problem, which is actually going to make shit even worse. Like inflation about to go up even higher and shit. Yikes. But anyway, yeah, man, this shit sucks. But at the end of the day, it's like, we're kind of in a dog eat dog world. We're kind of in like a killer be killed, survival of the fittest type of world. And the truth of the matter is, you can find peace in a lot of different ways. Well, not a lot of different ways. You can find peace in the present moment, right? Always. But as far as like securing your future and shit like that, man, don't always rely on the system, because the system never relies on you. In other words, they don't need you. You're expendable, right? They can lay you off at any time, and they will, and they don't give a fuck about you, bro. I'm telling you, you gotta find your own way these days. But I don't know, man. Shit. Maybe we're just fried. Who knows?